All right, everyone. Welcome back. All right. So today, what I'll be looking at a 2021 past paper. So that's actually last year's past paper. Right. I will be looking at question one. Right. So this is question one. Question one for this paper actually has, let me see, one, two, well, three parts actually. Right. 20 marks. You know that each question value is 20 marks. Very easy. All right. I just want to say for persons who are new, just hit the subscribe button right there on your screen, right? And just share the video, leave a comment, right? Even just to leave a thumbs up. That is good just to see, and you can like the video and everything just to push it through. So let's look at this question, all right? Question number one, right? It says that Anil, let me just big it up a little bit. So Anil, right, is a debtor who owes Metro Trading 5,600 as at the 30th of April 2021. The following information was extracted from the books of Metro Trading for the month of May 2021, right? So you have May 7, sold goods, sold merchandise. The sales invoice is for 3,450 less 20% trade discount. May 9, Anil settled the amount outstanding from last month, right, which was April, by a check after deducting a cash discount of 3%. May 13, sent a credit note, right, for $360 to Anil for merchandise received on May 7 in a damaged condition. And then May 15, sent a check $230 to Anil for an overpayment made in the month of March, right? So they are saying that we should use the form right below to prepare Anil's account in the books of Metro Trading for the month of May and show the balance brought down the 1st of June 2021. Now, the important thing for you to remember, guys, anytime you see a question, you must always read through the question first, right? Don't think that it is time wasting. Just read through the question so you can have an idea as to what the transactions are and what needs to be done. The next thing I want to point out for this question is that they're asking you to present, right, Anil's account, right, but in the books of Metro Trading Limited. So it's almost like you are the accountant for Metro Trading and you are doing up Anil's book, right, who is the debtor, right? So you have to remember that the principles concerning debtors, right, debtors account carries a debit balance normally. To increase a debtor's account, you debit. To decrease a debtor's account, you credit, right? So you have to bear that in mind. So the first transaction, May 7, right? As a matter of fact, before you even put in the first transaction, right, there is some information that is given to us here, which is the opening balance. So they told us that Anil owed Metro Trading 5,600, right, at the end of the last accounting period. Obviously, that would be our opening balance, right? So it is 5,600. Remember that I said that debtor's account carries a debit balance. So here it is, May 1, balance brought down 5,600. All right. So you have the opening balance right there. Right. Good. Then now, May 7, you sold merchandise and on credit to Anil. So in the book of Anil, it would be a debit entry because the debtor, right, his account is increasing. The debtor's account is increasing. But I just put a little scribbles here to show you how I got my 2,760 because they did say that it is 3,450, right? The sales invoice was far and less 20% trade discount. Now, this is very important, right? We need to understand that trade discount is discount that is given among traders, right? It is not, the discount that is given is normally not recorded in any book, right? The only thing is that the price, the full price of the item is paid by the customers, but this discount is the relationship that exists between the supplier and the supplier and the purchaser, right? That is why it's called trade discount between traders, right? So we don't normally record this type of discount, right? It is recorded on the invoice and that's where it ends, right? But cash discount is different, right? Cash discount is when money is being paid, cash is being used, as it's called, cash discount, right? So yeah, so we're not going to record the discount in the debtors account. However, we are going to calculate it to show how much money is actually paid over, or how much money Anil should pay. So for the sales, so how you calculate it, I just put it there, right? 3,450, right, would be subtracted, 3,450 minus 20% of 3,450, right? 20% of 3,450, I think it should be, let me just do the calculation quickly. Didn't write that down. 450, right? 690. So it's basically 3,450 minus 690, and you get the 2,760 right there. All right. Now, May 9, Anil settled the amount outstanding from last month, April, by a check after deducting a cash discount of 3%. And so, obviously, Anil is paying out some money, so it's reducing the amount that Anil owe, right, to Metro Limited. So you will put it on the credit side. So it's reducing the debtor, right? Again, you would need to calculate 3% of 5,600. How did I get 5,600? Because it said that this Anil settled the amount outstanding from last month, which was the balance from last month, which was what? 5,600. So it's going to be 3%, right? So on your calculator, you type in 0.03, or you can say 3 divided by 100, multiply by 5,600, and that, right, that should give you $168, right? And you're going to subtract the 168 now from the 5,600, right, which would give you 5,432. Now you may wonder why I recorded this 168, which was the discount, but because it's a cash discount, right? So you have to record the cash discounts, right? It's not like trade discounts that doesn't have to be recorded. You have to record the cash discount, right? And it would be discount allowed, right? Because in the books of Metro Limited, right, Anil is the debtor, and you are allowing Anil a discount, right? So you will credit Anil account, which would signify that it reduces the amount that she owes or he owes to Metro Limited, Metro Traders Limited, right? And remember that discount allowed as well is an expense account. So discount allowed account should be debited, right? However, not however. So if discount allowed should be debited, then it means that in the account of Anil, it would be on the credit side, because you know that the double entry for this now would be in the discount allowed account on the debit side. Right? So if you're not sure you understand, you can check out my videos on double entry, right? Because this question is calling on your double entry principles. All right. May 13, sent a credit note for 3,600 to Anil for merchandise received in a damaged condition. Now this credit note is sent to your customers, right, when after they have returned goods, right? And so in the book of Metro Trading Limited, it would be considered returns inwards, or you can say sales returns, right? So in the debtors account, it is reducing the amount that debtors owe to you, right? It is reducing the amount that the debtors owe to you, and so it will be on the credit side. So May 13, I have returned inwards 360. That's pretty straightforward. Yeah, so May 15, it says, sent a check $230 to Anil for an overpayment made in the month of March, right? And so if Anil had paid money in the month of March, the information would have been recorded on the credit side of Anil's account. Now, if we want to reverse this transaction, we simply do the opposite, which we are going to debit 230, right? So this bank that you see on the debit side is actually refund, and that is why when you look in the control account, right, you will see refund being on the debit side, right? Essentially what they are saying, basically what we should do, right, is we should debit the sales account, especially if the monies have been paid over already. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be balancing off this the Anil's debtors account, right? How to balance off the account. If you don't know how to balance off the account, you can check out my double entry video, right? The link is in the description below, right? And so what we're going to do basically is we're going to add up both sides to get your total. This side add up to 8,590, this side add up to 5,960. You subtract the smaller amount from the larger amount to get the balance carried down, which is 5,960. You take it away from 8,590, you get 2,630. The reason why it's on the credit side is because this side has the least amount, right? So that's the balance carried down. And now both sides are equal and then since you have the balance carried down, the question did say we should show the balance brought down as at the 1st of June. And so here, June 1, balance brought down 2,630. The balance brought down and the balance carried down is always the same. And so this is easy 8 and easy 8 marks. All right. Moving on to part B of the question. So part B of the question, right, it says in the spaces below, state the name of the ledger. Pay attention to that ledger, right, in which each of the 4 accounts listed below will be found. So Anil, a credit customer, right? For you see customer, you know that a sales ledger, right? Because your sales ledger record your customer's account. Purchases returns, right? Purchases returns, it means that people buy things from you. Who you buy things from and you send back to them, right? So that is purchases ledger. Discount allowed is given to people, to your customers, but it is recorded in the general ledger. Cash, right? Cash is normally recorded in the cash book. And did you know that the cash book is a ledger? Yes, it is. All right, so that's easy 4 marks. Easy 4 marks. Then we're moving on now to the next part. It says the bookkeeper extracted the following list of balances from Metro Trading's ledger on the 31st of May, right, 2021, right? So we are given not a trial balance, but a list of balances, right? They give us some information here. The following additional information is available. The total of 5,900 and in the discounts allowed column in the cash book had been credited to the discount received account in the ledger, right? So the discount received figure, discount received, where is it, right? Yeah, so the discount received figure here, right? 5,900, right? You know that 5,900 out of this 8,500 should be discount allowed, right? So you have to make a note of that. Then it says purchases of $4,000 made on the 31st of May 2021 had not been posted to the purchases account. So you know that the purchases figure, right? Where is the purchases figure now? See it here? 230,000. It is understated. So it should actually be 234,000, right? So you need to make a note of that, right? So they're asking us to do, and let's look on the next page because the answer sheet for this, right, is on the next page. So here it is. So it says using the form provided below, prepare an adjusted trial balance for Metro Trading at the 31st of May, right? Now, what you need to know to do this question, you need to know the principles concerning the trial balance, right? And if you don't know how to do trial balance, you can again check out my video. A link is in the description below on trial balance. So basic principles, right, is you need to know that in a trial balance, assets account normally carry a debit balance, right? Capital account carry a credit balance. Liabilities account carry a credit balance. Revenue account carry a credit balance, right? And expense account carries a debit balance, right? Also, you can say all provisions account, right? So provision for depreciation, provision for bad debt, all of that carries a credit balance. So if you know those little things, right, it should help you to answer this question very, very quickly and very easily, all right? So obviously, as I said before, sales, which is a revenue, carries a credit balance, right? Inventory, purchases, sales returns, trade received, trade receivables, right? Basically, debtors, right? Carriage inwards, non-current assets, all of these carry debit balances, right? The reason why trade receivables, trade receivable would be a current asset. Carriage inwards would be an expense that carries a debit balance as well. Purchases would be a type of expense, right? Carry a debit balance just the same, right? Discount received is a revenue, right? So credit balance. Trade payables, right, is a liability, credit balance. Bank overdraft, another liability, credit balance. Discount allowed, expense, debit balance. 7% bank loan, liability, credit balance. Drawings and expense, debit balance, capital, obviously capital, credit balance, miscellaneous expenses, expense, debit balance, purchases, returns, right? Purchases, returns is when it returns outwards, right? So you're sending back goods outwards, normally carries a credit balance. So, right? So credit balance. So you see, you put in everything following the principles and you add up both sides, and both sides are supposed to equal. So 882,870, and that's easy 8 marks. So these 20 marks, this question one, fairly easy once you know basic double entry principles. It's the first thing, double entry principles, and trial balance principles. And they tested a little bit about your knowledge on the books of original entry, right? So 3 topics: books of original entry, double entry first, right? Books of original entry, and trial balance. I'll give this question 4 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. All right, see you in the next one.